Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Bermuda Football Association President Mark Ray, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Fly Bass Center of Excellence today. Welcome to the media, welcome to the public. We're here today to introduce to you the senior men's national team head coach and staff. So I'll just do some brief introductions. Immediately to my right is Mike Finley, who is our new head coach. To his right, we have Kenneth Thompson, who is our assistant coach, and then John Barry Newsom, who's an assistant coach as well. So I'll just give Michael the opportunity to say a few words, but welcome to the Glide Center of Excellence.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and both from the media's perspective and from the public's perspective. Before we start, I'd like to thank President Wade, his board of directors, the Player Development Committee, and Maurice Lowe for the welcoming, but also entrusting me with the development of our senior men's national team. I think it's a very positive and exciting time in CONCACAF. I think we have a great opportunity here to do something exciting and different, and it's been a pleasure so far. Certainly Maurice has been my eyes and ears in the early days, which has been an incredible help, and I'm very lucky and very honored to be joined by Kenny and by JB. I think it's a very important part of my remit with the Bermudian Football Association to not just be here to develop our team to the levels of success we want it to be, but also to develop our staff. And as I say, the experience that these two gentlemen bring to this program is invaluable to me. And as I say, I'm honored and very excited to have them around. And I thank them for taking up these positions. They're going to play critical roles in developing this team, and they're going to provide me with details and I think the real nuts and bolts of what a Bermudian footballer is and how we are going to be successful in CONCACAF in the upcoming Nations League and onwards into 2024 and our World Cup qualifying campaign. So again, thank you to everyone. I seem to work a little better when it's questions, and we can begin answering some of those and giving you some direction and some detail of what my thought processes are. So I'm happy to move forward with that if you wish. It's completely up to you.
Well, we're in a matter of weeks away from our first match. Obviously, you'll be relying on these two assistant coaches to get you through that first match, as you will have limited time with players. How do you think that plays out for you personally?
Well, I think it's incredibly important. First and foremost, I'd like to pick them, but I think they're beyond that. But I think the reality is that I've done my own research. I've had a good look at where we are. We spent time here in the last couple of days doing a deep dive on what we think the critical pieces are, both on the field and off the field. We've also had a good critical look at the squad, and how we're going to progress is we're going to break this squad up into sort of levels, our A levels and our B levels and our hopefuls. And that is where their eyes and their experiences, both with Maurice, but specifically with these two gentlemen, are going to assist me when we make our final decisions on what this first squad looks like. I won't lie to you, it's a very, very difficult, fast runway to these first games. But football is never easy. It's always challenging, but I got great confidence in what we're going to do with our selection process. And we look forward to the first match on the 8th.
Sure. Kenny, getting back involved in the national program, what was that transition like for you in your mind, how that played out?
It's an honor for me to be back. I think it's, as Mike said, it's exciting times. The last time I was involved was before 2010, and football in Bermuda was very different, and also football in CONCACAF was very different. So now these are exciting times. We have Nations League, we have World Cup qualifiers. We're active on a regular basis. We have a number of players that are based abroad who understand the levels that we're looking at, and that drives those hopefuls that on island that want to be involved as well. So we have a large group of players that we can select from with quality, and that excites me as well. This new generation is exciting, and I'm appreciative and honored to have been asked to assist Mike. I only know his background from our meeting now and what I've read on the internet, and he comes with a lot of experience, and I'm excited to be a part of it, to develop myself a little bit further as a coach.
Sure. And JB, for you, when asked to join in to assist this next process of Bermuda football, take us through that process for you, that thought process of how you can help, where you can help.
Yeah, so again, it's an honor, and then when I got the call and asked to come in, I've always been one to kind of go for my country. I'm very nationalist in that sense, but I've been working with the U23s as well, so I've had my hands on a few of these younger players, and one of the things Mike and I spoke about was making sure that we get some of these younger players into the group, into the team, into the atmosphere, to kind of grow what I think is a very good generation of players coming through. So again, for me, I'm very excited. Kenny was actually my coach at the national level back there. So a space right now is very exciting for me. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to learn as well. So I'm young in coaching, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
And any one of you three can answer this, or four can answer this. We have an abundance of players abroad. Getting into a style of play of how you want the team to play, how do you envision that working out?
Well, it's going to be a process. What we will do as a staff is we'll take this opportunity to do a little bit of evaluation in a remote sort of way. I have my vision, which sharing with them. There's no football secrets, as they say. We want a team that ultimately will win. That's the first and foremost philosophy. As I said to one of the coaches yesterday, there is only one philosophy in football, and that is to win. It's how you go about it, and that will be our job to implement a game model that fits the competency of our players, fits the mentality of the players, and also is exciting for the Bermudian public. I mean, we want to play football in a manner which people enjoy. That's why we play football, is for the joy of it and for the fans. But there will be challenges early to try and get those messages across, because players, live in different spaces as it relates to where they're playing in their clubs, what they did in their previous national team experiences. So the process will be slow to some degree, but I expect them to be able to take in what we're going to tell them quite quickly. As I said, because there's no real secrets in football.
Sure. Unrelated to the team, but more so for the match itself on the 8th, Maurice, I don't know if you can answer this. We still see the stadium lights are down. There's more to be taken down and put up. Time frame is, the door is probably closed on that. What's the possibilities of us having to play that September 8th match away from Bermuda?
So we're watching that progress at the National Stadium very closely. So we're still optimistic at this point. That our other stakeholders or partners at the National Sports Center, are doing everything that they can to make sure that we're ready for that match on the 8th. And so we're watching closely. Very, very hopeful. I don't have the details of dates and times, but we're definitely something that we're watching closely.
Okay.
And we're conducting most of our training sessions in the dark right now.
We ain't worrying about us, it's the opponents. So we know who we're playing on the 8th. What do you know about them, and what possibly they bring to take us on?
Yeah, our group in League B, for those of you who don't know, French Guiana, St. Vincent and Grenadines, and Belize, first game against French Guiana. French Guiana is a very interesting nation. They're a French territory, so they're very heavily influenced by French philosophies and the French Federation. They have a number of players that exist similar to ours, not in their native land. They're a team that I think technically is very, very high standard. You know, they like to play with the ball. They are a physical group, but I think there's opportunities for us to take advantage of that in some ways. It'll be interesting to see what squad they select also. There are challenges at times for their foreign-based players to come back to a game such as Nations League, where in the past they've selected their teams for Gold Cups, and they've had no release issues. So we'll see what sort of squad they do bring, but we can expect a very technically gifted team. They'll have a high degree of competitiveness to them, and they're experienced professionals and in the CONCACAF region.
For Kenny and JB, given Mike and I there, we have an issue, or we've had issues in the past, especially center halves. We lack height in that area. How do you guys plan to look around to see who's available and kind of give them the best advice on who should actually be in those positions?
That's obviously going to be something that we have to discuss in terms of selection of players and profile of players. Of course, defenders has long been an issue in Bermuda since Dennis Braun days, I think.
Well, got 3 weeks to get him ready. JB too.
But no, we'll discuss those things and depending on who we select based on the list that's been created. But either way, whether we have tall, strong, robust defenders, or if we don't have the type of profile of Bermuda, then we have to find a way to make the most of the unique situation, whether it's be more intelligent, read the game a little bit faster. We have to find a way to put players on the pitch that can defend and play with the ball as well, because it's not just about defending nowadays. But that will be a discussion between us to kind of come up with the right solution with the players that we have available.
Yeah. Have all the players, Maurice, made themselves available for this upcoming first match?
Yeah, so we've been in communication with the players. So, there's a process of us introducing the new coach to the players, and so far everybody's been excited and on board. So we're just going through the paces of ramping up for the match. So as Michael said earlier, it's a lot to do in a short amount of time. And we're quickly getting all of those things done. So we have had a few bits of communication with the players thus far, and we'll continue in preparation for our first match on the 8th.
If you want my perspective there is we've reached out to the group. We've had a brief remote call with some of them who were available prior to the announcement of my appointment. But since then, they're aware of what our process will be in terms of this first game. And we're hopeful in the next couple of days that we'll be able to focus with what our first selection will look like. But it is, it's my plan and my objective to be speaking to each of them individually over the next couple of days and weeks and moving forward, because this is not going to be a stagnant group. This is going to be a live evolution of the group. You're going to see players in this first camp that we may not see in the second camp or the third camp, maybe in the future, who knows, but it definitely is part of this evolution. And I'm using that, the gentlemen have heard me say this, I arrive here thinking evolution, not revolution, because I think we've got some very good pieces in place, both from an off-field support position, but also from a player competency level. So it's about balancing that group, and it's about making sure that we have a vision for the future, but we also have some very immediate short-term goals that we need to meet. So that's the balancing act of this group of individuals seated at the table.
I don't know if these guys have informed you, Bermudians are very finicky when it comes to football. They love their team winning. They can't stand when the team loses. How important is it to get a positive result that first game on the 8th?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I can sit here and tell you that, I have these great expectations down the road, this and that, but we need to get off on a good start. Again, it's going to be very challenging. There's no doubt, but I have a lot of confidence in what I've heard from from Kenny and from JB about what the capacity is for these players to compete. I think everybody should know that, I've said it in our meetings early, and I'm big on this. We can talk about formations, we can talk about technical ability, we can talk about all aspects of the game, but the game at the international level is first and foremost about a fight. And you have to fight for your position, you have to fight for the ball, you have to fight for your pitch allocation, and you have to fight for a victory. So that's the expectation I have of these players, is we need to fight and get ourselves in a good position to start this run of Nations League game over the next 3 months.
Kenny, how do you plan to share out your time with North Village and this national program?
Yeah, it's big now. Just another added thing to my already busy schedule. But no, it's what I love to do. And when you're doing things that you love to do, then it's not really work, so to speak. I actually, since stopping teaching in 2010, I put in way more hours working than I ever did in my lifetime before. But it doesn't feel that way, So this is exciting for me. So it's just another piece of running from one place to the other to do something else that I enjoy doing. So there are going to be no issues. I have spoken with Sharon Dill, the North Village president, and then even last night I spoke to the players because I wanted them to hear it verbally from me rather than hearing it now. And I assured them that nothing will change in terms of my commitment to the club as well. So everything I do with 110%. And in this case, because it's football, then it's 110% enjoyment.
Anybody else? Your schedule wasn't busy enough, you got a haircut.
Yeah, exactly. That's every Friday.
I've been told in our earlier meetings, we can have meetings anytime you want, but not on this day at this time. Okay, Fred?
Is that to keep the gray out?
I'm gonna go to his barber.
All right, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
If there are no further questions, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. Again, welcome Michael to Bermuda.
Thank you.
Welcome Kenny and John Barry on board to the senior men's national team staff. Thank you everyone, and have a blessed and safe weekend.